I am excited for today's video. Jay here, EscobarJ.com, and this video today I am very passionate about. Today is how does intermittent fasting help you to lose weight? And this is a topic true to my heart because I want to start off with a quick story. So, my entire life I have always had a gut. Just a beer truck, just a pot belly, right? Since high school. I've always had just some flabby on my gut, and I never knew why. And my best friend, he weighs like $130, but he's just rock solid, chiseled. He was always has like the abs and the muscles, and even though he was like a small kid, small dude, and even to this day he doesn't weigh that much. But he was always just super rock solid and just had huge chest and just chiseled arms and abs and big back, could do like 30 pull-ups in a row, and I like struggled to do like one or two, and it just felt so, I was like, oh, like I'm going to the gym, right? I'm working out, like I'm exercising, and I'm not seeing the results that he is, or other friends and other people were seeing. And I remember when I was, I think I was around 19 or 20 or 21 or 22, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I picked up Insanity, the original Insanity from Beachbody. And I do Insanity to this day, like now. But back then, I had done it for 90 days. Was it 90 days? I think it was 90 days. 60 or 90 days. I think it was 90 days, though. And I had got some pretty good results. Like, I think I didn't, like, my weight, I wasn't like super like fat by any means. Like if you saw me, you wouldn't say that I was a fat person, but I just never, I always like just had some extra skin and just bulky, right? Just not even bulky, just like thick boned. And I was always, but it was like kind of like skinny fat. So I wasn't, I probably weighed 180 pounds, 190 pounds maybe. I can't even remember. But I just remember not being happy with my body, so I wanted to get in shape, right? And I did Insanity, and I was super excited, and I stuck with it for like 60, 90 days. I did the entire course like once and a half. And then I had also done like P90X previous to that for like a month or two. And so as I was going through it, like my family started noticing that, like, hey, like you're looking pretty good, like I can tell you're losing some weight. It's like, oh, this is awesome, right? But like it was after like 60, 90 days, and they were like, had just barely started noticing some stuff. I'm like, man, like what? Why can't I shed these pounds? Like I'm putting the work in. Like I was working my butt off. I really was. Like I was really like, I was committed to it, working my butt off. But here's the problem, is I wasn't eating right, and I wasn't listening to my body, and I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do in order to compound those efforts in the gym. So I only lost like maybe 20 pounds in that time. And the reason why is because I kept eating carbohydrates. I would every morning I'd wake up and I'm Hispanic, I'm half Hispanic, I'm from El Salvador. Not born there, just my heritage is from El Salvador. And we like to have pupusas, refried beans, rice, burritos with tortillas and cheese, and we call it crema. It's like basically like a sour cream with milk in it. It's kind of watered down. Ooh, so good, by the way. And we put that on our beans, and we'd have bread, and I'd be drinking like juice every morning, and man, some amazing meals, like amazing. We'd have eggs, and just, oh man, like to this day it's probably one of my favorite breakfasts, like the beans, eggs with avocado, with some French bread, and oh, so good. Pupusas and tortillas, corn tortillas or flour tortillas, either one. And like I would just eat to please my taste, right? But I wasn't aware. I didn't have the knowledge of what to do and things. So anyway, long story short, is I didn't really see the results that I wanted, right? And I lost some weight, so that was good, but I wasn't like the chiseled big chest, like big arms, like, and I had even done like weightlifting as well. A few years later, I got huge into like weightlifting with my buddies. We'd be at the gym at 6:30 every morning. Consistently, I was doing that for probably a good 6 months straight, consistently every single day. Did not miss like a single day. Was lifting hard, was lifting heavy, and I just couldn't see the results that I wanted to. I couldn't get the lines that I wanted to. I couldn't get the definition that I wanted to, and it's because I wasn't eating right and I wasn't eating in the proper times. And that is why intermittent fasting is so important. Now, if I had just done the one intermittent fasting technique, because now I eat, the ketogenic diet. I follow a very strict nutrition, very low carb, very low sugar, high fats, moderate to high protein, and I'm very, very selective at what I eat, and I'm very selective at even down to the macronutrients. I look at the macronutrients in almost everything that I eat now, and I get high quality foods, grass fed, grass finished, beefs and meats, chicken that has never ever any antibiotics or hormones. I get organic, cage-free eggs. So my diet is very strict now. My nutrition is very strict now because I have the knowledge and I have the knowledge of what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, and the things to eat and things to make to eat. And back then, I wasn't. I was always just eating whatever I wanted, and that's the difference. Now, if I had just taken this one strategy of intermittent fasting and just done, because here's the thing, you can lose a lot of weight with eating some carbs, and I'm not saying go overboard, but you can like stick to a traditional type of diet, and if you're doing intermittent fasting and you're exercising in the right times, and I'll get to that in a second, and then eating at the right times, you can still see some amazing results just with intermittent fasting. And here's what happens. There's different strategies on how you can intermittent fast. I mix it up, and I'll get to my regimen in just a minute here, but essentially what the idea of intermittent fasting is you eat in a certain window of the day. And that window can be, a 2-hour window, 4-hour window, 6-hour window, 8-hour window. It could even be a 10-hour window, but ideally, the shorter that window, your eating window is, the better overall effects you're going to see. And what the idea is, after you eat your eating window, you do not eat anything else, just water. You just drink water. You can enhance the fast by having some coffee. So, like if typically in a fast, like I'll have coffee, especially like in the morning, if I'm trying to wake up, yada yada yada. Coffee can accelerate the fat burning process. But anyway, what happens is because your body's depleted, it's not that your body's depleted at first, right? Because you just ate in your 2-hour window, 4-hour window. After that, your body, once it burns through those calories that you ate and the food goes through your digestive system, it doesn't have anything else left to burn or use as energy. So what does it do? It goes to your fat storage. It goes to what's on your body already and starts burning that. That is the power. That is how you can shed the pounds quickly over the course of time. Of course, as long as you're exercising, I would do high intensity interval training as the best way to rapid weight loss, and then doing intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting, typically a lot of people will do like a 1 meal a day type of regimen. You can actually do that. That's really good. But you could also do a 2 meal a day, where you do like an actual meal. You can break your fast with like some a protein shake, and then a couple hours later, at the end of your window, like let's say if it's a 2-hour window, the first hour you have a protein shake, the second hour you have some regular foods like eggs, or you could even do like some chicken or beef or whatever it is you want. Even if you didn't want to do like a ketogenic diet or paleo diet or vegan diet, you could even have like some rice and chicken or something, for example. And that will help you to, after you eat, you're going to be in a huge caloric deficit after that time, because you're going to be in a fasting window where you're not consuming any calories. And when you're in that deficit, That's essentially what weight loss is your caloric intake on a daily basis, your BMR, your body mass, or your I can't even think of what it's called right now. It's a BMR though. Your basal metabolic rate, that's what it is. It's basically how many calories your body needs to maintain the same weight. And essentially all weight loss is your caloric intake needs to be below that BMR. If you want to gain weight, your caloric intake needs to be above your BMR. If you're like into weightlifting and bodybuilding and that sort of nature. That's why bodybuilders can eat a ton of food and still look chiseled, because first off, they're usually eating the right stuff, but second off, they're getting super heavy, intense workouts in to help build their muscles, and then that's why they need the fuel to go in there and protein synthesize. Anyway, we're getting off topic, but that's essentially the idea of intermittent fasting. That's how it helps you lose weight, is you're in a caloric deficit, an extreme caloric deficit and a lot of times. And to finish my story, a year and a half ago, I started eating keto diet. And I started really, really taking my nutrition seriously and doing research and learning and educating myself on what works, what doesn't, the things that I can eat. And I focus on what I can eat. Because a lot of people, they get bogged down with, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that, I can't have this, I can't have that. I just focus on what can I have? Oh, I can have bacon and eggs. I love bacon and eggs. That's like one of my favorite things ever. I love bacon. So good. What else? I could have spaghetti with no noodles. I could do zucchini noodles. I can do macadamia nuts. They're like my favorite snack. Like literally, I love macadamia nuts like more than life itself. Like I love macadamia nuts. They're like my favorite thing ever. So I started focusing on that. I can have steak. I can have chicken. I can have beef. You can have seafood. I hate seafood personally, but you can have those types of things. And then once you understand these types of things, you can utilize these to your benefit. So after you're at your fast, so a lot of people will do like a 8-hour window, 16 fast, 8-hour eating window, or they'll do an 18-6, or they'll do a 24, not 24, like a 20-hour fast, 4-hour window of eating. Some people even do like a 12-12, a 12-hour fast with a 12-hour window of eating. So it just depends. You can do it however you want, but typically the longer you fast, the better your results you're going to have. You can even do a 24-hour, 48-hour, or 72-hour fast. I've done a 72-hour bone broth fast. It really helps to reset your gut biome and get the good bacteria inside your gut. That's kind of a different topic, but I want to talk about when you want to work out. You want to work out when you do your workouts. Let's say the last thing you ate was at 7 o'clock at night. Okay, that's typically what I'll do. Is the last thing I'll eat is around 6 or 7 o'clock at night. From 7 o'clock, I time it. So from 7 to 7 the next morning is 12 hours. If I go to noon that day, then that's like a 18-hour fast right there. 17-hour fast right there. So you can, and then what you want to do is at the end of your fast at around, I'll typically work out anywhere between like 9 a.m. and noon, somewhere in there. So that's what the time you want to exercise. Why? Because think about it. If you're in a caloric deficit for 12 hours, let's say already, and let's say the last thing you ate was at 7 o'clock the night before, you're fasting throughout the night, you're sleeping fasting. 7 o'clock hits in the morning, that's 12 hours, you're still fasting, you have water, maybe some coffee to kind of wake yourself up, give yourself some energy. Let's say it's 10 o'clock, okay? That's a 15-hour fast right there at 10 o'clock. If you work out from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock and then break your fast from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, literally your body is already in a caloric deficit. What is it already doing at that point? What it's already doing is using your fat stores for energy and using what's called ketones in your blood for energy and fuel instead of glucose or fructose or carbohydrates or the things that you had previously, because your body's already in a caloric deficit. Then on top of that, when you work out at the end of your fast, at the tail end of your fast, your body is going into overdrive. It's going into super burn mode, right? And the other thing that your body does is when you go through a long fast like that, it allows your body to go through what's called apoptosis, and that is when the cells in your body, certain cells will kill themselves to reproduce new cells and the growth of new cells for the betterment of the organism as a whole. So that's what apoptosis is, and that's a good thing because it can shed cells that maybe aren't producing very well, or that are kind of sickly, or that have maybe some viruses in them, or just cells that aren't contributing to your overall health as they should be. Apoptosis helps regenerate those cells and go through a good cell regrowth. And when that happens in your body, your mitochondria can actually produce more energy and more ATP, which gives you more energy. And that's kind of the sciencey part of it, but it's a real thing. And then to hyperdrive it even more, if you utilize the ketogenic diet and you really use a lot of fats, a very high fat diet, moderate protein, and very low carb and sugar, it puts this whole process on steroids. When you do ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting plus exercising, high intensity interval training, those three are the trifecta. That is how I lost 70 pounds in about 8 months. After that, I did a bodybuilding improvement regimen after that. So I put on 15 pounds of muscle. I have a lot more muscle in my body. I don't have a flabby chest anymore. I actually have some pecs now. I've never really had a big chest, so to me, my results right now are phenomenal. And that is the power of intermittent fasting. And you can do it if you don't want to do the ketogenic diet. You can do just intermittent fasting, and you can see some awesome results if you're doing high intensity interval training or just working out in general. You got to do at least 2 of the 3 though. You can even do ketogenic diet and just exercise. I did that for a while without doing intermittent fasting. I still saw great results because when you do a ketogenic diet, you're basically, instead of your body using glucose as fuel for your body, it switches over to ketones. And when you get into a state of ketosis, it allows your body to burn those fats for fuel, the fat on your body for fuel instead of glucose. But that's a different side of it. So this is just the intermittent fasting side of it. But like I said, the trifecta is to do all 3. That is how I lost 75 pounds. I weighed 235 pounds. I got down to 160 pounds. 75 pounds that I lost. And that was in about an 8 to 9 month window. So it can come off very, very quickly. And I did it a very healthy, very healthy, controlled way. A lot of really good foods, high fats, a lot of exercise as well. I put the work in. That's just really what it comes down to. But when you mix it with those intermittent fasting, your results, you just go, you just take off. And that is, like, to this day, I'm in the best shape of my life right now. And it's because of those 3 things. And I completely attribute it to those 3 things. So, and that's why in the past when I was working out probably just as hard, but the intensity of workouts I was doing was just as hard when I was doing Insanity, when I was lifting weights at the gym with my buddies. We were going hard, and I just wasn't seeing the results because I was still eating carbohydrates, I was still eating sugar, I was still eating the trash that my body, and that's when the pounds just pack on, and it was so hard for me to see results. And so when that happens, you get deflated. When you see results, it keeps you motivated, and you get addicted to it. You really do. I'm addicted to it now. My wife and I both. We don't miss days. We are workout fanatics now, and it's a part of who we are. We're committed to it for the rest of our lives, and it becomes a unconscious, competent habit. And that's really where you want to get to. So anyway, if you like this content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell icon. That way you get a notification anytime I put out a video or go live or anything. And share this. Share this with as many people as possible because this can really change your life. You got to put the work in though. I will say that it's not easy. It's hard. There's going to be days you don't want to do it. But if you just stay consistent with this regimen, I promise you, you'll see results. You'll feel so much greater. You'll feel so much better about yourself. Exercise is the most underrated antidepressant. I completely believe that because I have never felt happier in my life, and the last 3 years have actually been the toughest 3 years I've ever had to go through, but I've been the happiest in my life, and it's because of my nutrition and my exercise. Seriously. So I'm very passionate about this, and I know that if you stick to this regimen, you will see results too. So, love you all. Love is the answer, guys. Spread the love, spread the joy, spread the giving. Let's always learn. Make sure you're always growing, and make sure that you're always pushing forward no matter what. Life can really throw some haymakers at you. Right now, the economy is really struggling right now. But, you know, as long as you're putting the positivity in there, you can do it. So, love you all. Be well, prosper.